What is up, guys? Emmanuel Jones here, and we're here with another video, and we're going to be doing our Week 3 picks of this week. And last week I went 10-6, which I did awfully good last week. So we're going to dive into these games. But I chose the Panthers to win 27-10, and they won, I think it was like 24-9, something like that. I don't remember. So, yeah. So, anyways, we're going to get started here. So, week 1, we have the Washington football team hosting the Buffalo Bills. And the Bills are favored by 7.5. I'm going to keep this one short here. But you know what? I mean, we can see this going either way, but you know what? Washington really doesn't have a quarterback right now, and I don't think Washington's offense can do enough in this game to keep up with Josh Allen. I think Josh Allen, he can torch this defense, and I think they do have the weapons on offense to expose that. So, yeah. And also, I believe the Bills' secondary is underrated. So, I think the Bills' secondary, I think they can at least shut down, which I think Travis White can cover maybe Terry McLaurin, and then maybe Levi Wallace can maybe cover Damani Brown. But I'm really not sure Curtis Samuel's going to be able to join. So, yeah. But you know what? I can see this game going close here, but I don't think Washington will do enough here. But you know what? The Bills have a really, really strong offensive line, and they can really find a way to, I think they're going to block all these guys like Chase Young, Deron Payne, Montez Sweat, and Matt Ioannidis and Jonathan Allen. I think they can block these guys up front. But you know what? I'm going to take the Bills in this game because I believe the Bills are the better team. They have the better quarterback. They have the better coach. They're at home. So, yeah. So, I'm going to say Bills win like 35-13, something like that. So, I'll take the Bills to win, but I will take the Bills to cover. All right, next game, we have the Chicago Bears versus the Cleveland Browns. Now, the Browns are favored by 7.5, by 7 points. You know what? I'm going to keep this one short too because here's the thing. The Browns have been dealing with some injuries though because I heard that Baker Mayfield got injured, and I know that Jarvis Landry is going to be out for a couple weeks because he's on IR. But the good news is that OBJ is coming back. But you know what? We can see this game being close because I think Justin Fields has a lot of hype and all that. But I don't think the Bears can barely match up well with the Browns because, the Browns have a really good front seven, which I think they can find a way to at least embarrass that Bears offensive line and give Justin Fields some fits. So, yeah. So, I don't think the Bears offense is going to do enough to run the ball against that Browns defense. And I think the Browns secondary is really good because I think their top corners like either Troy Hill, Greg Newsome, and Denzel Ward. I think Denzel Ward can cover Al Robinson, Troy Hill. I think he can cover Darnell Mooney. And I don't really know who Greg Newsome will cover. But I think the Browns defense can slow down the run. And I think maybe John Johnson, he can really cover Jimmy Graham. So I expect the Browns defense to have a big game and the Browns offense to have a big game. So I feel like OBJ, Austin Hooper will have a big game because the Bears secondary is not great. They're not great at stopping the pass. And plus, the Bears defense played really well last week. I mean, they're really not great at stopping the run, but I like how the way their defense, outperformed the Bengals offense. I mean, they really shut down Joe Burrow. I mean, in that passing attack, yeah. But I think the Browns offense can do a good job running the ball and all that. Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt have a big game. Baker Mayfield will too if he plays. But you know what? I just don't think the Bears. I don't really know the Bears offense can keep up, but I wouldn't be shocked if they kept this game a little closer. Because Justin Fields has a lot of hype. So, yeah. But you know what? I'm probably going to go ahead and take the Browns to win because they're at home. And I believe they have the better quarterback in this game, and they have the better coach in this game. And they're just a more talented team. So, yeah, I'm going to say Browns win like 28-16, something like that. So, I'm probably going to go ahead and say I'm probably going to take the Browns to win. But I will take the 7, though, because I believe they can keep it closer, though. But I wouldn't be shocked if the Bears cover. But you know what? I'm going to go ahead and take the Browns to cover this game. All right, next game. The Baltimore Ravens versus Detroit Lions. Ravens are favored by 8 points. You know what? I'm going to keep this one short, too, because here's the thing. Now, the Lions really played really good last week versus the Packers, but they really didn't do enough to win. Because I like how Jared Goff played, but you know what? He had a bad second half last week. But you know what? The Lions defense must have played great last week. Game pressure. But you know what? I don't think the Lions defense is good enough to stop the Lamar Jackson. And the secondary isn't great too. And plus, their offensive line is not great. I mean, the Ravens do have a really great pass rush who can really embarrass that offensive line and really give Jared Goff a tough time. But you know what? I think Marquise Brown, Sammy Watkins, and Mark Andrews will have a big game against that Lions defense. So I feel like they'll run over them. But you know what? I like how the Ravens did last week. I mean, the Ravens defense played great, and they had the ball back, and then it finally came for a comeback. But you know what? I would not be surprised if they kept this game close. But you know what? I'm probably going to go ahead and probably take the Ravens to win because I believe they're just a better team. They have the better coach, and I think they have the better quarterback. I mean, let's just be honest. Lamar Jackson's a better quarterback than Jared Goff at this point. So, yeah, I'm going to say Ravens win like 30-17. So, I'm going to take the Ravens to win, but I'll also take the Ravens to cover. I mean, I will take the 8, though, but I'm not going to say the Lions cover, but I'm going to go ahead and take the Ravens to cover. All right, next game. We have the Colts versus the Titans. Titans are favored by -5. I think this game will be interesting, though. Now, we're looking at this game because I'm not sure if Carson Wentz is going to be able to play in this game because he was injured last week. So, you know what? But if Carson Wentz does play, I think they will keep it close. But if he does not play, then I think there will be a blowout, though. But you know what? I have not really liked how the Colts did. I mean, they played really well last week, but they didn't do enough to win. So, yeah. But you know what? On the other side, the Titans really played really well last week. They were able to go for a comeback last week and beat Seattle. I mean, they ran the ball. They did great at passing the ball. I mean, the defense played well last week. So, yeah. So, I expect this big performance to happen again this week with the Colts. I mean, they can find a way to run the ball on the Colts. I mean, the Colts defense sometimes is not great at stopping the run. They're not great at stopping the pass. So, I think we can at least expect Julio Jones to have a big game. We can expect A.J. Brown to have a big game too. So, yeah. But you know what? I don't really like how the way the Colts are doing. They're really not doing well right now. So, I'm going to go ahead and go with the Titans here because I just think the Titans are the more complete team. They have the better coach. I mean, they're at home, so yeah. So, I'm going to take the Titans to win, but I will take the 5, though, because I think the Titans can keep it close. Because I think the Colts can keep it close if Wentz plays. But you know what? They covered the spread last week, but I'm going to go ahead and say the Titans win like 27-17, something like that. So I'll take the Titans to win, and I'll take the Titans to cover. All right, next game. We have the LA Chargers versus the Kansas City Chiefs. Chiefs are favored by -7. Now, you know what? I bet a lot of people are starting to say that, they're not going to bet on the Chiefs because they're overrated. I mean, I just don't believe that. I mean, we can skip all that. I mean, the Chiefs are overrated. I mean, the Chiefs are like one of the best teams, though. Now we seen that they were trying to win last week, but due to the fact they lost last week. Because they lost last week by 1 point because they fumbled at the end, like in the fourth quarter by the end of the game, and then the Ravens won that. On the other side, the Chargers, Justin Herbert he did not play really well last week. At least they kept the game close. I mean, the defense almost played great, but I don't think their defense did a well enough job in this game. But you know what? The Chargers' offensive line was not playing well last week. I mean, the Cowboys' defense was getting pressure on Herbert and all that. I mean, yeah. That was like a bad performance. But you know what? The Chargers, they're going on the road, and a new coach, is going on the road facing against Kansas City. I mean, I feel like that, it's going to be learning curves for them. So, yeah. But you know what? I'm going to go ahead and say the Chiefs will win. God, it really don't matter how well the Chiefs defense is playing. Because I know a lot of people are saying that the Chiefs defense isn't playing well, but I think it is. But you know what? I'm going to say Chiefs will win because I think the Chiefs are the better team. They have the better quarterback. They have the better coach, and they're at home. So, yeah, and I expect Steve Spagnuolo to have a big game with this defense, though. But you know what? I think the Chiefs will find a way to control the clock, and I think they'll try to control time possession. So, yeah. And I don't really think the Chargers defense is that great at stopping the run as well. They're really not great at stopping the pass, so yeah, I think we expect Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce to have a big game, and so will Patrick Mahomes. And I think Clyde Edwards-Helaire will have a big game. I think he can run over the Chargers defense, which I think that could be their weakness. So yeah, I think we can expect the Chiefs' offensive line to block Joey Bosa and all that. So yeah, so I'm gonna take the Chiefs to win, but I will take the 7 though because I think they can keep it closer though. You know what? I'm gonna say the Chargers are gonna cover this game. I think they're gonna cover plus the 7, but I'm gonna go ahead and take the Chiefs to win this game. All right, next game we have the New Orleans Saints versus the New England Patriots. Patriots are favored by -3. Now this game is gonna be really good now because I believe that both offenses are on the league playing really well. With Jameis Winston versus Mac Jones, which is going to be fun to see. But you know what? Last week, the Saints, offense, Jameis Winston was not playing really well. Because, the Panthers defense getting pressure on him and all that. Jameis Winston, he did really not play great in that game. So, yeah. And I believe that the Saints defense did not play great. So, yeah, the offensive line did struggle a little bit. On the other side of things, Mac Jones played really well. The defense played really outstanding. Forcing turnovers. Yeah. I like how the way the Patriots did last week. I think that was a great game plan, and that was the best performance they played. But I don't really know if they're going to be able to do this again in this game. But you know what? Because I think the offensive line for the Patriots is probably about average, and the Saints' offensive line is about average. But you know what? We can see the Saints' defense give Mac Jones a tough time. But you know what? I could take the Saints to win because of that. But the Patriots' defense has been playing really good. Their front seven is really good. I think they can find a way to slow down Alvin Kamara. But in order for the Saints, to win this game, they're going to have to block the Patriots' pass rush. Same thing with the Patriots. In order for the Patriots, to win, they're going to have to block Cameron Jordan and Marcus Davenport and David up front. Yeah. They're going to have to do that. But you know what? The Patriots' secondary is really good, which I think they can find a way to cover the Saints' passing game. But I think the injury to Michael Thomas does concern me a little bit. But you know what? I'm probably going to take the Patriots to win because I believe the Patriots they're at home, and I believe that I have more faith in Mac Jones more than Jameis Winston. So, yeah. So, I expect the Patriots offense to have a big game with Jonnu Smith and Hunter Henry, Nelson Aguilar, and Jacoby Myers and Kendrick Bourne. I mean, we expect the Patriots receiving core to have a big game in this big offense. I think Damian Harris will have a big game as well. So, yeah. But I will take the Patriots to win. But in terms of the points, I will take the 3, though, because I believe they can keep it close. I mean, as long as Jameis Winston plays good, I think they can keep it close. I mean, if they can really control the clock and keep Mac off the field, then they'll win. I mean, that's the same thing with the Patriots offense. Because if they can control the clock and control time possession and try to move the ball and keep Jameis on the sidelines, then they'll win the game. So I'm probably going to say the Saints will cover the 3 points. So, yeah, but I will take the Patriots to win the game. So I say Patriots win like 24-23, something like that. All right, next game. We have the Falcons versus the Giants. Giants are favored by -3. You know what? I'm going to say I'm going to keep this one a little short, though, because I believe the Giants' offense is really stacked, though, with Kenny Galladay and Evan Ingram and, Sterling Shepard and many more. I mean, yeah. On the other side, the Falcons' defense, is really not that good. They have a bad secondary, a bad pass rush. Their offensive line ain't no good. But you know what? I think the Giants' secondary is really good because I think they'll find a way to cover Julio Jones, and I think their pass rush, I don't think is good enough to stop the run. But you know what? I expect Joe Judge and the Giants' offense to make a great game plan. But I think because I don't know what the Falcons will do. But you know what? I'm probably going to take the Giants to win because they're at home, and I just think they have the better receiving core, and I think Saquon will have a big game as well. So, yeah. So, I'm going to say they keep it close, and I say Giants win like 30-24, something like that. So, yeah. But in terms of points, I will take the 3, though. So, I'll say the Falcons do cover the 3 points. But I'll say the Giants win the game. Oh, yeah. All right, next game. We have the Bengals versus the Steelers. Steelers are favored by -3. You know what? I'm going to keep this one a little short because I believe that the Steelers are a lot talented. But now, we've seen that they lost to the Raiders last week because the Raiders' defense got a lot of pressure on Big Ben. On the other side, Joe Burrow did not play well last week. I mean, we seen him through like 3 interceptions last week. I mean, because the defense was able to get pressure on him. I mean, yeah, his offense did not play well, but he almost came back and won the game. So, yeah. But you know what? I mean, a lot of people are trying to bet on the Bengals to win because they think that Joe Burrow is better than Big Ben, but I don't really agree with that. But you know what? I wouldn't be shocked if they kept this close, but you know what? I think the Steelers are going to win this game because they're at home. They have the better coach and they're just a better team. And I just think the Steelers defense is going to give Joe Burrow a tough time. And I think the receivers, because I don't think that Deontay Johnson's playing, I'm going to say that Chase Claypool and Juju, Eric Ebron have a big game. And I think Najee Harris will have a big game as well. So, yeah, I mean, as long as Big Ben plays well, and I think the Steelers wins this game. So I'm going to say Steelers win like 23-16, something like that. So, yeah, I'm going to take the Steelers to win, but I will take the Steelers to cover. All right, next game. We have the Cardinals versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Cardinals are favored by -7.5. Wow, big number. But you know what? I'm going to go ahead and keep this a little short. Now, last week, the Cardinals almost lost a game. But you know what? Kyler Murray really played really well in this game. I mean, yeah, but I don't think the defense played a lot well. But you know what? On the other side, the Jaguars, I mean, with Trevor Lawrence, he's been really struggling. I mean, he could be one of the worst quarterbacks in the NFL. I mean, his offensive line sucks. I mean, their defense is not as great. I mean, that Jags, they're in huge trouble. I do not like this to see how the Jags is doing right now. So yeah, but you know what? They really don't have a lot of explosive abilities on off. They don't have explosive weapons, and they're not explosive enough on offense. While Kyler Murray is, with DeAndre Hopkins, AJ Green, Rondell Moore, Christian Kirk, that offense and the receiving core is stacked here. So yeah, but you know what? And the defense is really good. So I think they'll find a way to give Trevor Lawrence a tough time and all that. So yeah. But you know what? I'm probably gonna go ahead and take the Cardinals because Kyler Murray's playing better football than Trevor Lawrence is. So yeah, I believe the Cardinals have the better coach. They have the better quarterback. I say they have the better quarterback in this game, and I just say they're the better team. So yeah, I will take the Cardinals to win, and I will take the Cardinals to cover. But I wouldn't be shocked if they kept this game close. So I'm gonna say the Cardinals win like 30-19, something like that, like kind of a blowout type game. But I wouldn't be shocked if it was a shootout. So yeah. So I'm gonna say the Cardinals win this game, but I'm gonna pick the Cardinals to cover plus the 7.5. All right, next game we have the New York Jets versus the Denver Broncos. Broncos are favored by -10. You know what? I'm probably gonna go ahead and keep this one short because I believe that they can keep this game super close because I'm gonna keep this one short because we've seen what the Jets did last week. Zach Wilson, he did not play really well. The offensive line struggled. We see him through 4 interceptions, while the Broncos, defense has been playing excellent. Teddy Bree's been playing really well. So yeah. But you know what? I think with a rookie quarterback playing against a really good defense like the Broncos, that's going to be too much. So yeah, and I believe that with Jerry Jeudy not playing, it might hurt them. I think Cortland Sutton and Noah Fant will have a big game, and Melvin Gordon will. So yeah, and I don't believe the Jets defense is that great. As long as Zach Wilson plays well and they keep Teddy B on the field, off the field, then they'll win. But you know what? I kind of don't have a lot of faith in that offense right now. So yeah. So you know what? I think they do keep it a little close. But I don't think it's going to be a little close because it depends on how well Zach Wilson plays. Because if he plays good, then I think they'll keep it close. But I'm probably just going to go ahead and probably pick the Broncos because they're more talented team and they have the better coaching staff. But I think the Jets defense is really great. They can really give Teddy B a tough time, but I just feel like Denver is just the more superior team in this game. So yeah, I'm going to take the Broncos to win. I'm going to say Broncos win like 24-13. So I'm going to take the Broncos to win, but I'll take the Broncos to cover the spread. All right, next game, we have the Miami Dolphins versus the Las Vegas Raiders. Raiders are favored by -4, but you know what? I kind of call that a trap game because I kind of really don't know if Derek Carr is really going to play in this game because we seen him got hurt last week, and I kind of really didn't know if Tua was going to play, but I just found out that Tua is ruled out. So yeah, but you know what? I think this game can go either way though because both these two teams are very talented. They have a great defense. They have a great offense. So yeah, Gus Bradley's defense. It's been playing really well. But you know what? I love what the Raiders are doing offensively, passing the ball, running the ball, and controlling time possession. And I like how the way Derek Carr is playing. He's starting to play like an MVP. But you know what? I think it's gonna be close because be a little closer, but I wouldn't be shocked if it was because I don't really know if Jacoby Brissett is gonna be able to do enough to keep up with the Raiders. But you know what? I think the Dolphins do have the weapons on offense to expose the Raiders secondary. And I think they do have the defense to like slow down the Raiders offense and slow down Josh Jacobs because I don't think the Raiders offensive line is that special. But I think the Raiders pass rush can find a way with Carl Nassib and Max Crosby and then Ngakwe Solomon Thomas. I think they'll find a way to like expose that and give Jacoby Brissett a tough time. But you know what? I'm probably gonna go with the Raiders in this. I mean, last year we seen that Brian Flores really found a way that he can really shut down John Gruden's offense. But you know what? I'm probably gonna go with the Raiders here because they're at home and they have the better quarterback and the better coach. And I just think they're the more superior team in this game. So yeah, I'm probably gonna pick the Raiders to win, but I'll say Raiders win like 34-17. So yeah, I'm gonna take the Raiders to win, but I will take the Raiders to cover. All right, well I'm gonna get some water for this before I go. All right, next game we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the LA Rams. Now, when I looked at the score online, they're saying that Tampa Bay is favored to win. I mean, I kind of feel like the spread's kind of disrespectful, but you know what? The reason why I call this a pick 'em because they're both undefeated still. But I also call it a trap game because I don't really know who's gonna win for sure. I mean, both these two teams really match up well with each other because last year the Rams played the Buccaneers very well, but Tampa Bay lost that game. I mean, they would have won, but they're going to LA. But you know what? I think this game right here can barely go either way though because Tampa Bay's going to LA, and sometimes the Rams lose at home sometimes. But I'm looking at the matchup here. Now, the Rams can really match up well with the Bucs really good. But I don't really think Tampa Bay can match up well with LA because I think the Rams defense with Jalen Ram which I think they can really slow down the Bucs offense and give Tom Brady a tough time. Because I think the Rams with secondary is very good. So it will be a matchup. But I don't really know who will cover Antonio Brown. So I'm going to say that maybe Jalen Ramsey can cover Mike Evans. And maybe Darius Williams cover Chris Godwin. So yeah. But I don't know and I think maybe Antoine Winfield can cover Tyler Higbee. And I don't know if the Bucs have enough corners who is going to be able to. But on the other side, I think Carlton Davis can cover Cooper Kupp, and I don't really know if the Bucs have another corner who can really cover Robert Woods and Deshaun Jackson and Tutu Atwell. Yeah. But I could barely see the Rams win at home because they can match up well with the Bucs really good because they really expose the Bucs defense. But you know what? I expect the Bucs defense and the Bucs offense to have a big game in this. But I'm trying to see what Todd Bowles can really do and Raheem Morris can really do, which I think he really forced Tom Brady to make the short throws and all that. I don't really know. On the other side, I think Todd Bowles can figure this out. I wonder if he can really force Matthew Stafford to make the tough throws. But you know what? I think the Bucs defense can really give Matthew Stafford in the run game a tough time. But you know what? I feel like the Bucs offense is going to have to block Aaron Donald and all that. So, yeah. And the Rams do have a great offensive line, too. They're going to have to block all the Bucs defense up front. But you know what? I want to go with the Rams because they're at home. But, man, I really don't know who to bet on this game. I mean, this is tough to choose. You know what? I'm probably going to go ahead and go with the Bucs to win because I think the Bucs – I just think the Bucs, are just a better team. They have the better quarterback in this game. So, yeah, that's pretty much why. So, I'm going to say Bucs win this game. I'm going to say Bucs win 37-33. But I don't know who will cover because this is the pick 'em, though. So I'm gonna say the Chargers. I'm gonna say the Rams do cover this game, but I take the Bucks to win. All right, next game we have the Seattle Seahawks versus Minnesota Vikings. Vikings are favored by 1.5. I mean, Seahawks are favored by 1.5. But I also call it a trap game though because I believe that this game can go either way, and some people are betting on the Vikings to win because they think that Kirk Cousins can have a bounce back game because I think people are saying that Vikings are trying to seek their first home win. But you know what? I feel like this game is in Minnesota. So yeah. But you know what? I think it's up to the matchup though because last week, I mean, the Vikings defense really played better than week 1. I mean, we've seen that they really sacked Kyler Murray like 2 or 3 times last game, and I think the defense played really well, forcing turnovers. But they lost to the Cardinals because they missed the field goal. But you know what? I think the Vikings offense, I mean, Kirk Cousins has been playing really good, though. I mean, the Vikings, they've been competitive in some of their games. They've been competitive for 2 weeks, but they have been competitive of being the winner in some of the games. But you know what? I kind of feel like that the Vikings, this must be a must bounce back win for both teams because we know the Seahawks lost last week. But you know what? I think the Seahawks do have a great opportunity because I think the Seahawks offense, with the weapons they have on offense, I think Russell Wilson can have a big game versus the Vikings defense because I think the Seahawks offense can prove to me that they can really expose the Vikings defense. So yeah, I mean the Seahawks, I don't really think they have much of a pass rush to slow down Dalvin Cook, and I don't think they have much of a secondary to like slow down Adam Thielen and Justin Jefferson. So yeah, I think I think Kirk Cousins might have a big game versus the Seahawks weak defense. But you know what? I think the Vikings defensive line can really prove that they can really give Russell Wilson a tough time. On the other side, the Vikings secondary is really good, but the Vikings secondary has not been playing well recently. I mean, the defense, I don't really know if they put up points in that game. I think the defense did put up a few points in the game last week, but I don't really know. But you know what? I think it could be a matchup, with I think Patrick Peterson is going to cover DK Metcalf, and then I'm probably going to say that Bashar Breeley can cover Tyler Lockett, and then I'm going to say Harrison Smith can probably cover Joe Everett. So that could be the matchup in this game. But you know what? I don't really know if the Seahawks do have any corners to cover those receivers, which I think they do have safeties, which I don't think they can cover receivers. But you know what? I mean, as long as the Seahawks offense plays good and keep Kirk Cousins on the sideline, control the clock, then they'll win. I mean, same thing for the Vikings. I mean, if the Vikings can really control the clock in the fourth quarter and run the ball really good and try to control time of possession and also keep Russell Wilson on the sidelines, then I think the Vikings might have a chance to win this game. But I feel like this game's going to be very close, but I really don't know. I mean, Seahawks can barely win this game. One of these teams can win. I mean, I almost didn't have a chance to pick the Vikings to win because they kept losing. But you know what? I don't really know what to pick, but I might go with the Seahawks, though, but I don't really know. Because Seattle has a better quarterback and a better coach in this game. And I think they're a better team in this game. But this is my upset special of the week. I'm going to go ahead and take the Vikings to win this game. But I'm going to give them one last chance to win. But if they do not win, I promise you, I will not pick them next week. So, yeah. So, I'm going to go ahead and take the Vikings to win this game. I'm going to say Vikings win like 31-30, something like that. Like a much closer, high-scoring game. So, yeah. But I think it will be a shootout in this game. But you know what? Both these two teams covered last week. But you know what? I mean, I want to go with the Vikings here, but man, I really don't know what to choose. This is tough. You know what? I hate to say both these two teams win. I mean, going either way, yeah. You know what? Let's go ahead and go with the Vikings to win this game. And I'm going to go ahead and say the Seahawks do cover this game. So I will take the Seahawks to cover the 1.5, but I'll take the Vikings to win this game as my upset special. You know what? This is tough. I mean, I can't switch back and forth. Because I hate to say that they both start off slow, but I'm just picking the Vikings to get back on track this week so they can avoid the 0-3 start like last year. All right, next game. We have the Green Bay Packers facing against the San Francisco 49ers. Now, 49ers are favored by -3 points. You know what? I'm looking to matchup in this game. Now, this game can barely go either way, though. I mean, a lot of people are bet on the Niners because they're at home. But you know what? I think that the Niners can really match up well with the Packers because they have a really good secondary and they have a really great pass rush, which I think they can really give the Packers offensive line and Aaron Rodgers a tougher time. But you know what? It's been starting to play really good, but the offense played really well. I mean, they really show they can expose the Packers defense, though. But the Packers defense really played well versus them last week, and the offense did too. This is when Jimmy G was injured. But I think the Packers can match up well with the Niners good because I think the Packers do have the corners. They have the pass rush, slow down the Niners run game. But you know what? I feel like in order for the Niners to win, their offensive line is really good. They have a really good underrated offense, really strong offensive line. And I think they're going to find a way. They're going to have to block Kenny Clark. I mean, same for the Packers. I mean, in order for the Packers offense to play well, in order for their offensive line to play well, their offensive line is good. But in order for their offensive line to play good, they're going to have to block Nick Bosa and all these guys up front. But you know what? I think the Packers secondary is really good too, which I think it would be a one-on-one matchup. So I'm going to say Jair Alexander can cover Brandon Ayuk and maybe Eric Stokes can cover Deebo Samuel. But I'm going to say Kevin King can cover Mohamed Sanu because I don't really think Kevin King's like one of the worst cornerbacks in the NFL recently. Which I don't really think he's that great. I mean, he played great last week, but I don't think he's that good of a cornerback. I think Eric Stokes is more better. I feel like Eric Stokes is more better than Kevin King because Kevin King runs a 4.5 and he cannot really cover receivers any good. So that's why I'm saying Eric Stokes is probably better than Kevin King. Just to be honest. But I think the Packers pass rush is really good, which I think they'll find a way to slow down the run game and all that. So, yeah, as long as, if the Niners control the clock in this game and probably, control time possession and keep Aaron Rodgers on the sidelines, then they'll win. On the other side, same thing for Green Bay. If they can really control the clock and control time possession and keep Jimmy G on the sidelines or whoever playing quarterback, either Jimmy G or Trey Lance, if they keep them on the sidelines, then I think Green Bay might have a chance to win. So I think this game right here is going to be super close. Niners can barely pull off an upset. Niners can barely pull this off since they're at home. But I think it will be a high-scoring game in the shootout. But you know what? I think the quarterback position for the Niners concerned me a little bit. So I'm probably going to go ahead and say the Packers win this game. And I know it's in San Francisco, but I'm going to say the Packers win this game because they have the quarterback. And I think they have the better quarterback in this game. So, yeah. So I think the Packers offense will have a big game against that Niners defense. And I don't think the Packers will start off slow like that. But I almost call it a trap game, so yeah. But you know what? I'm going to take the Packers to win. But I will take the 3 though, because I think they will keep it much closer. So yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and say that the Niners are gonna cover this game to keep it much close. So I'm gonna say the Niners do cover the points, but I'll take the Packers to win the game. All right, last game, Monday Night Football. We have the Philadelphia Eagles versus the Dallas Cowboys. Cowboys are favored by -3. You know what? I think this game is going to be very good, though. It's very interesting and intriguing to see. But I feel like the game can almost win either way, though, because a lot of people are starting to bet on the Eagles. But you know what? The Eagles really did not play real last week. But you know what? The defense really played a little well like the week before, and so is the offense. On the other side of things, the Cowboys defense has been playing really well. I mean, Trevon Diggs is one of the most underrated cornerbacks we've ever seen. I mean, getting the most interception. I mean, that guy can win Defensive Player of the Year. But you know what? The defense, the pass rush has been playing good. I mean, they was able to get pressure on Justin Herbert. I mean, they was able to expose that Chargers offensive line because they wasn't able to block. I mean, Justin Herbert did not play well. I mean, Dak Prescott been really playing really good. I mean, Amari Cooper is like one of the best receivers we've seen. I mean, he's a stud. I mean, CeeDee Lamb's a stud. I mean, Michael Gallup, I think he's injured, but I think he's a really good stud. Dalton Schultz could be one of the most underrated tight ends we've seen. But you know what? Ezekiel Elliott is really most underrated running back, and so is Tony Pollard. I mean, the Cowboys' defense has been underrated for the past weeks. But you know what? I could expect them to have a big performance versus the Eagles. I mean, yeah. I could expect the Cowboys' offense and the Cowboys' defense to have a big game. But you know what? I think the Cowboys' offensive line is so underrated. I think they're going to have to at least block the Eagles' pass rush like Javon Hargrave and block Fletcher Cox up front. They're going to have to block all these guys. So, yeah, I think Trevon Diggs can cover Devonta Smith. And I think the Cowboys play safety. I don't know. They do have safety to cover Zach Ertz and all that. But you know what? The Eagles' offensive line is good, but I don't think it's that special. So I think the Cowboys' pass rush can take advantage of that. So, yeah. Because I think the Eagles' defense, they're really not great at stopping the run, and they're very suspect, and they're very atrocious of that. And they're very atrocious at stopping the pass. So I expect Amari Cooper and Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb to have a big game, and Zeke Elliott have a big game too. So, yeah. So I think with Kellen Moore's offense, I think he can find a way to, force the Cowboys to make plays, and with his schemes is great. I mean, Dan Quinn, for his defense, his schemes is starting to get really good. I mean, I like what the Cowboys have been doing for the past weeks, for 2 weeks. But you know what? I'm probably going to go ahead and take the Cowboys to win. But in terms of points, I will take the 3.5 though, because I think they could keep it close. So I could say Dallas wins 27-19, something like that, because I think Jalen Hurts and that Eagles offense could keep up. Because I don't really know if Nick Sirianni, has his schemes to keep up with the Cowboys. But you know what? I'm gonna say the Eagles kind of cover a little bit in this game, but nah. You know what? I'm gonna say the Cowboys cover this game. I'm gonna take the Cowboys to win, but I'll take the Eagles to cover the 3.5 a little bit, but I will take the Cowboys to win the game. Because I believe the Cowboys do have the better quarterback. They have the better coach. They're at home. And I just think they're the more talented team. So, yeah. So, I'm going to say the Eagles do cover the 3.5. But I'll take the Cowboys to win the game. Well, all right, guys. That's all my Week 3 predictions. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. And also, don't forget, if you disagree with me, just let me know in the comment section below what you think who will win. I mean, don't forget to just like and subscribe. Like this video and subscribe to my channel for more options. Well, thanks for watching. This is Emmanuel Jones from The Big Fan. See you guys later. Peace.